What is up, guys? This is Anthony here with Lifetime Living. We got Dominic Lalli. Dom, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Dom Lalli. I'm here with Lifetime Living.
Yep.
Gonna have a good podcast.
All right. Dom, how old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, what were you doing?
So a year ago, I was in Florida. Started working for a roofing company in Florida. Just getting my feet wet in the business. Did pretty good there. Was managing a small team for about 7 months. Moved back to Ohio. Had some stuff happen. Then I contacted you.
Yep.
And I was like, I know a little bit about the roofing business.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do for you. So
yeah, it's good stuff. So what interested you in like the door-to-door space?
Just knowing that it's all up to me and I can make as much money as I want to do. I can go out whenever I want. Just the unlimited income potential.
So you liked...
And it's kind of like working for yourself.
Yeah.
Like you don't really have a boss, but you do.
Yeah. You liked being able to control your own income and you having the power to handle how much you're making.
Say you go and you get a job at Applebee's. It's like you're making $10 an hour. You work 8 hours a day, you make $10 an hour, you make $80. You go out and you knock for 8 hours, you can make $1,000, you can make $10,000.
Exactly.
It depends. So
and you can also make $0.
And you can make
if
zero.
You don't do anything.
It's the part people don't really talk about.
Yeah. And like when you work for yourself, you understand that it's all on you, right? And like you have to train, you have to put in the hours. And when you don't want to work, that's when you have to work, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's more like a lot of people like to just work off of motivation, strictly motivation. But with what we do, it's just discipline. It's motivation too. You have to be motivated to do it. But discipline plays a big role in it because you could wake up one day and not feel motivated. I agree. And you're like, all right, this sucks. I'm not going to go out today.
Yeah. So like you just started.
Yeah. I've only been
a couple months ago.
About
like,
2 months.
So you started the beginning of April, correct?
Yeah.
And last month you made well over $20,000, $25,000.
Yeah. Close to
this, right?
Right under 30. Yeah.
Right under 30. Yeah. $30,000 just started.
Yeah.
In April. Yeah. Made close to 30 grand in 1 month, right?
I was not expecting that, but
really? I
put in the work. I had, the help from you, the help from everybody.
So what is the role of you having the right group of people around you to push you to keep going? Because if you were just working on your own, you probably wouldn't have earned close to whatever, like
having
30,000.
Having a good team definitely helps. And something I like doing, my favorite part about everything is just the closing and dealing with the insurance, doing everything after the initial door knock. So like that's what I like to do. That's what I specialize in. So
you're closer. You like to close.
Right. And I still like to door knock. Nobody likes to door knock, but I like to get my own leads too.
Well, here's the thing. You have to be able to the hard part in order to become closer later on.
Correct.
And when you were down in Florida you door knocked all the time, right?
When I was down in Florida, I was doing like the same thing I'm doing now, but it was a lot less. Like we're not dealing with the insurance down in Florida. I had a team of about 3 people down in Florida. So they would canvas for me, they would knock, and then I would do everything after that. But while they're knocking, I'm also out there with them. We're all in the same neighborhood. So
really? All at once?
It's a lot different than kind of what we do here.
I kind of like that, though. I think we might
makes
do that.
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's because everyone's in the same environment and you got more people to help motivate.
Okay. So you mentioned having a great team around you is really important. What is the role of competition play in terms of like you hitting the numbers that you wouldn't hit without competition.
There's
Does that make sense?
competition. Yeah. I love competition. That's why everything I do, I try and make sure I'm the best.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like, it's not like a cocky or arrogant thing. It's just, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Makes sense. So like if a guy, let's say, because last month you were number one, right? But at the beginning of this month, you were behind in the start.
Yeah.
And I was kind of pep talking you guys. I was like, hey, he's going to beat you this month, Dom. He's going to beat you. And you're like, just wait. And then now you're ahead of them.
They're coming in, yeah.
Would you believe that having a friendly competition within the office is like really
super important? Yeah, okay. Because if there's no competition, then you really have nothing to, I mean, like I said, it brings up the discipline thing. You can go out there and you can be disciplined, but when you have someone, you see someone doing better than you and they're doing the same thing as you, it's like, I need to be better than them. Yeah. I need to produce more. Yeah.
So you would say it's kind of like within you that you're always competitive.
Like
you've always been competitive because you played sports growing up. Correct?
Yeah.
And how does that translate to this industry? Like you playing sports and this industry, like how does it kind of correlate?
I would say sports and door knocking is very similar because there's competition, not just between our team, but you have other roofing companies.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. You can be motivated to go out there and practice every day, but it's the discipline that really gets you to the top. So
yeah. And here's the thing too, because like you played sports growing up, you understand that like the amount you train, you work out, you compete directly correlate with how well you improve. Like if you played sports and you were always the guy that trained after practice, you worked out longer, you had the private coaches and stuff like that, those kids were typically better than the kids that just did the bare minimum, right? So like if you look at this, like just out there from 1 to 8 every day and that's it, and you don't train after, you do not role play and practice and read books, like you'll be behind the guys that are constantly
you'll just be average.
Exactly. You'll just be average, whereas the people like you, like I, will constantly be trying to grow and improve, and because of that we'll start to pull away from all the average people, you know?
Right.
So let's say just began in the industry, what tip would you give to a person that just started in the door-to-door industry that maybe just graduated school, high school or college? Like what one trait would they have to have to be good at door-to-door sales?
There's a lot of different things.
There's a lot. You could do multiple.
No, yeah. Most importantly, you just have to want it. Like you have to be, it goes back to the discipline thing. Like there's days you're going to go out there and you're going to get cussed out. You're going to get a no. You're just going to feel like crap. But if you're disciplined, you know, you'll go back out the next day and you'll be up on a roof the next day.
Exactly.
It's an important trait, being disciplined.
Yeah.
I would say another trait is to kind of be like powerful in the mind, like being able to take the hits from homeowners. Yeah,
literally like a sport, like you're boxing in a way.
It gets very tiring. But yeah.
So one of the ways that I always looked at it when I started was every day I go back to zero. Like if yesterday I had a great day, I got a bunch of yeses, I got a bunch of deals, then when I woke up the next day, it didn't matter.
Right.
I'm back at 0 and I got to do it again.
It's very true.
So like how I look at that is like when I played, what was it, baseball, if you have, let's say you played in a tournament game, and you had 3 games in a row, you might have had a great game at like the 8 a.m. game, but then at 12 o'clock, it's a new game.
Right.
And then at 2 o'clock, it's a new game, and you just got to redo it.
Right.
So like what happened previously is not a reason you wouldn't be able to keep working hard. Like you can't let because you did well become a reason you won't work the next day.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And like you have to, like if you do well, you have to use that and keep working actually, because
right.
then you're kind of on a roll. And you
it can
start
go
going.
one of two ways. I mean, you could either let it get to your head and be like, all right, I got 2 deals yesterday. I don't need to really do anything for a couple days now. Or you could look at it as like, I got two deals yesterday. I'm going to get 2 more today. But I mean, it's all, people look at it differently. So
if you had to pick, and this is hard, what do you enjoy the most out of like your job? And I hate that word job because it's honestly not really a job. It's more just like a lifestyle in a way. Like you just
it doesn't feel
wake up, roll out, talk to people, and make money off of talking to people. That's all we're doing.
Right.
I mean, you just talk to people.
Doesn't feel like a job.
It doesn't feel like a job because it's just you just talking to people and
it's fun.
That's it. So like, but what do you like the most, I would say, about it? Is it the team, like hanging out with everyone? Is honestly, it you helping people?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Helping at the end of the day, it's like people are so happy because they have no idea that they can get a roof paid for by their insurance. So when it's all said and done and they're actually looking at the scope of work and everything from the insurance and they're like, wow, like I'm going to get wired $37,000 for my $1,000 deductible.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, thank you. Like I've gotten texts from many homeowners like, thank you. Like,
have you had homeowners who were like, oh, thank you a ton. Like this helped me out a lot. Like that kind of thing. Have you had homeowners tell you that?
They've told me it in person and then I'll leave. 15 minutes later, I'll look at my phone and it's like a whole nother text about how grateful they are and whatever. So that is probably, I remember getting the first text from one of the homeowners recently. And it just makes you feel good. It's like, wow, like the hard work pays off monetary. And then it's like, you also have people like that are just grateful.
Yes. So like that is one of the main reasons why this really isn't a job to you. Is because like you're really like serving people, just helping people,
right? And it's like the money comes with it too, but it's like
as like a result,
right? And
of you helping.
Really, what we do is share information. We're not really going up to sell anything. We share information to people, like, hey, you can either take the offer, or you don't have to, whatever you want to do, but like you can either possibly get a new roof paid for by your insurance, or wait until you want to pay for it out on your own. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do, but and then you kind of get people with that.
I mean, usually it works because like you're helping the homeowner out to where he already has to replace his roof down the road.
Right.
It's an old roof. It's already 20 years old. And you explain to him in a proper way that, hey, if you have damage, you don't have to pay to replace this.
And a roof is one of those things that people just push off.
They're like, I'm gonna wait till there's a leak.
Yeah,
I'll wait till
one day
falls off, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of people in the world kind of get it twisted to where like they're just trying to earn money and earn and earn and earn. But what you understand is to the level you help people, you'll earn
as
a result. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You helped last month, homeowners didn't have to pay like
It was like
$250,000 in roofs.
Yeah.
That homeowners didn't have to pay.
Right.
And because of that, you made a lot of money.
Right.
But in the process, you were trying to help the homeowner.
Right.
You weren't trying to make like a lot of money.
That was the benefit on
It just happened.
behind. Yeah.
It just
Right.
happened as a
Right.
result. And it's like a lot of people, they get that twisted where it's like, how do I earn a lot of money? How do I earn? What they have to look at is, how can I help a lot of people? Like, if you look at Jeff Bezos, he helps a lot of people. If, let's say, you want whatever, you could just hit his app and you order it and it's here in a couple hours. Like, it's like, it helps you. So like, he gets paid a lot of money.
And he's opened up thousands of jobs for other people.
Helping them out that way too. So when you help out a homeowner, you get paid.
Right.
And if you bring on recruits and you help them learn how you help out a lot of people.
That's another thing I was going to say.
You get paid more indirectly because you brought them on. They're helping people, and because you train them how to do it, you'll get paid as well.
Yeah, like not only are we helping homeowners, but we're helping normal people like you and I make money and help people in the same way we do.
If you had to remember time in your career, even though it's only been a month and a half or whatever, 2 months, have you had an experience where like a homeowner just ripped into you, just absolutely ripped into you, and then you started to maybe question, like, geez, I don't know.
Yeah.
If this is
I'm
like
sure you remember the one.
Do I?
Yeah. It was a long process. We tried everything we could. But like it was that, I remember that whole, however long it was lasting for, it kind of like ate me up. I was like, oh, like this sucks. Like I know I'm doing everything right, but whatever. Yeah. And that was my first whatever. I didn't like that it happened because, I lost money. I didn't get to help someone out, but there's nothing we could do about that. So
have you ever had a homeowner, you pitch them and they maybe don't want to listen? And then they're like, you need to get a real job, or you got to go to school, or have you ever had people tell you that?
The real job thing, yeah. I've
the
heard
real
that
job
plenty of times.
Oh, go get a real
especially
job.
in Florida. Especially in Florida, yeah. That, I mean, it's
has it ever gotten you? Or
no. That is, it's just funny to me because this is my real job. So whatever.
Well, I mean, have you ever had?
It used to, yeah.
Have you ever had people that are your age tell you to get like a real job? Have you ever had people do that are like
absolutely
our peers?
Yeah.
Really? How do you respond to that when they?
I just ignore it. It's just like people say a million different things about what we do, and it's like at the end of the day, there's countless of people who are grateful for everything we do for them.
Exactly.
And I'm able to survive off of it too. So it's great.
So have you had people ever call you a scammer or
all the time?
Or telling you, oh, you go door to door with insurance. Like,
you're
like scamming people.
You're a scam. Yeah.
Really?
All the time. And it's like, no.
You don't let it eat you? Like,
no.
Eat you
it
up?
used to get to me.
But then
I was like, it's one of those things where like I started to see results.
Exactly.
Like last month, I was like, I started to see results, and it's like, if the insurance is saying there's damage up there and whatever, and they pay out for it, what's the scam about it? Yeah. There is no scam.
Yeah. So. And like that is how you get through a lot of questioning. Is being like, hey, you can question this all you want, but look. Like, this works. Homeowners aren't paying for it, and I'm making a lot of money doing it.
And not to mention, they've paid thousands and thousands of dollars already in premiums.
Yeah, of course.
So what, are they just not going to ever use that?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, a homeowner, if they had their company the past 20 years and they're paying 2.5 grand a year.
Right.
That's
That's almost 50 grand
in 20 years. That's a lot of money where you can use that
right
to replace your roof.
That's one thing people don't understand. You have insurance for a reason. You don't just have it because you do legally have to have it if you have a mortgage. But people have insurance for the reason of covering damages when stuff happens that they can't control.
You basically have people coming up to you and they're like, oh, get a real job, you're scamming people, yada, yada, yada. Is the only way to get rid of that questioning through like you proving this works? Is that what you believe?
Yeah and no. A lot of it's also through, like, I mean, social media. Like, there's thousands of happy homeowners.
Yeah.
So if they're happy, clearly we're doing something right. I don't really listen to those people. I don't really care.
So last year, you worked at a roofing company.
Roofing company in Pensacola, Florida.
And you made about how much in like a year? You said that it was.
It was about 8 months. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a low number. Not too low, but it was like 60 grand.
60 grand in 8 months. So the month of May, you earned like half of that.
Yeah.
Of what you earned in all of last year.
Correct.
Why did it switch? Like,
there were a lot of
the same pitch, kind of, or you might have kind of changed it up because you heard the way that I do it, or
there's a lot of different things that play into it. I mean, first of all, the company itself that I was working for, they didn't pay properly, like how we do. And then, I mean, just overall, I mean, the homeowners here in Ohio are just so much better to deal with.
Correct.
In Florida, it's just where I was knocking at every day. This is like the 15th time someone's come and knock on their door for the same thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I came back here and I was also hungry, very hungry. It's just discipline that came into play too.
Yeah.
When I moved back here, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where life was going to take me. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do what I've been doing, I guess, and try it here. And yeah, so far it's
I have a couple of things to kind of say about that. So one thing I just want to kind of bring up.
Right.
You came here and you were like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
But then you realized you have a skill that you can always lean on, to where if you are in a jam or whatever, like, you can always do this.
Right.
Because you have a skill.
Right.
A lot of people, they don't have skills and they're like, I can't get a job. Well, have you ever been uncomfortable? Because when you started, it was pretty uncomfortable, right?
I was very uncomfortable. Yeah.
You're going
starting
door to
in
door.
Florida, it was very uncomfortable. But then also when I moved back here, I had a lot going on, as you know. And I was very uncomfortable, confidence-wise, everything-wise. I didn't know what I was going to do.
And then what changed?
Just one day I was like, all right, I need to do something.
Okay.
It's just like I have a point that I need to prove. So I'm going to do something and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make it happen. One way or another, I was going to make it happen. Yeah. I was hungry. When I first moved back here, I was mad.
Yeah. What is the role of having like a why? Like, you had a why.
You need to have a why.
Like, you had to prove, like, you were hungry, but the hunger came from you having a why, right? Like, how important is it to have a why? Like, it's a real, genuine important. Why. That's not
everyone's going to have a different why,
of course,
but it's important. If you don't have a why, then you don't really have anything that you're working towards.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a why, some sort of why.
Yeah.
It can be different. It's probably different for everyone. Some people probably have the same why.
When it comes to you growing as a human, you have to put yourself in a position where you aren't comfortable, right?
Yeah, very uncomfortable, yeah.
And when I started in this industry, I have a speech impediment. I have a stutter.
Right.
Like, out of all the jobs, this is the most, like, what are you doing?
Most uncomfortable job for you. Yeah.
You probably heard, because you and I kind of spoke in high school, nothing crazy though.
Right.
But when you heard that I was doing door to door, you're probably like, what? Like, like Anthony doesn't really talk like that much. He didn't give presentations.
Right.
But in that, I was extremely uncomfortable, and I grew exponentially because I was doing something that I've never done before.
Right.
And because of that, it like literally changed my life doing door sales. Like, it actually changed my life because I was a person that went from, I didn't really speak to people unless spoken to, that kind of thing. I didn't give presentations ever in my whole life, to giving 100 presentations a day in door-to-door sales. So
I mean,
that kind of thing plays a role. Like, when you started, obviously you were pretty uncomfortable.
It was very
It wasn't that bad, but it was
bad,
but still, it was
it's scary going up to a door, and it's like, I don't know these people, but I'm just going to go on their property and try and convince them to do something.
And here's a thing that you and I have in common. When we graduated, we both left our home.
Right. It's very
How important is it to get out and get away from the people, the surrounding, the opinions of the people?
A lot of people probably don't know that, but that was like the main reason why I moved to Florida.
That's
like, actually, that was like,
and it was hard to do, I bet.
It was, in the beginning. It was hard. I picked up everything.
Drove down there the idea came. It was probably a month from the initial idea of moving down there to being down there. It's like, I mean, it was a great time. Would you be where you are today if you went to school and didn't go to Florida? Would you be where you are?
No, I mean, no, like, it's
genuinely.
like at all. Yeah, I was going to say it probably sounds like a stupid answer, but like, because like anyone would say no, like school, I'm not going to school. I'm going to be an entrepreneur or whatever. But like, no, that's seriously how it is. Like, if I was in school right now, I could do it part-time. Yeah. But as you know, I mean, it's just like, for me, I'm going to choose one thing and I'm going to go all in on it.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting multiple different things that you're doing, you get fogged up.
Yeah. A lot of guys are in college still and they're kind of doing this part-time, but you're completely in. Out of everyone, you're getting the best results because you're completely
full-time. Yeah.
Completely full-time. So it's pretty important to be like that, though, right?
Very, yeah. I mean, you can work another job while doing this if you want to, but
at what cost, though?
Yeah, you know? No, you have to be out there every day.
Yeah.
If you had another job, you could honestly be losing yourself thousands of dollars because you could be out there knocking doors.
Yeah.
You knock a door and you make a couple $1,000s. So,
at least, you know? So you knocked down in Florida.
Yeah.
In Pensacola, kind of,
Pensacola, right? All the way down we went to Destin like twice. All around there, Navarre, all of those areas, yeah.
Okay. So what would you tell the people that are in this industry there about doing this in Ohio?
I've actually
how much easier is it here than down in Florida?
It's not that much easier, but the people are just nicer. That's really all I've noticed.
Yeah.
But I've actually had my old manager texted me. He saw how I was doing whatever, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "You think I could come down there like part time and
come up here?
Come up here, yeah. And give it a shot." And I was like, I mean, we're trying to bring people on right now. So first of all, I would tell them leave the company that I was at because they don't pay correctly. I should have made a lot more money than I did with the amount of leads I was bringing in. And I would I mean, up north right now, it's kind of, people are just now starting to hear about the whole roofing thing.
Yeah.
But down in
It's
Florida,
big time in Florida.
It is, and it's it's saturated down there.
Very saturated.
Not saying you can't create a business where
You still make
it's
money
saturated.
down there.
Yeah.
The homeowner experience you get here in Ohio is way better than the
It's
homeowner
weird.
experience
Like
down in
honestly, I
Florida.
figured down in Florida, it's like, oh, everyone's happy down here.
That's what I
Like,
thought.
these people are gonna be so nice.
Yeah.
But no, it was opposite. I think it's genuinely just because it's so saturated, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, I've heard this 10 different times.
I've
like,
heard this pitch 1,000.
Please
Yeah.
leave. Yeah.
When I worked down there, I mean, when you knocked a door, it was like, you better have this
you better
crazy
know what you're
offer
doing.
that they've never heard that gets them to be like, whoa, okay, and then
Right.
hear you out.
Florida's a
Doorstep.
different breed. Yeah, I miss Florida. Florida was
So-
great, but
When you made about 28 grand last month, and this
Yeah.
month you're at about over
already-
100,
yeah.
right? I mean, over 10 grand in
I mean, now
commissions.
I'm close to like 200,000 in closed contracts now.
So you're close to 20 plus grand in commissions.
Yeah.
What is the role of you building rapport with the homeowner? Like you building a
Super important, yeah.
relationship with the homeowner besides about their roof. Like you get
It's
to know
super
them
important.
and like what they
And that's
do as
another
work.
thing, honestly, that I
Has
like
that
about the
helped
job.
you?
Yeah. Just getting to know people. There's so many different kinds of people. Yeah, it helps, and it's super important. And I think for some of the people that aren't doing as well in our business, that's one thing that you should check on and like think about. Just think about how you treat people. And like, are you having conversations about something other than their roof? Because once you actually get to know somebody and you're talking about their life and all that and what they do for a living, you get them kind of reeled in, and it's like, okay, now I look at you as a friend rather than someone trying to sell me something. So
I love that.
yeah.
So if you had, before we get off this podcast, if you have piece of advice that helped you make 28 grand last month, besides building rapport, besides you being out there every day, would it have to do with you operating at a different level, or like your brain viewing stuff differently mainly?
Yeah. So like myself right now, I'm a completely different person than I was even 3 months ago. Like,
Really?
Yeah. I'm just hungry.
Can you elaborate
I'm
on
hungry.
that?
Yeah.
Like you
3 months ago,
were in a dark place?
very dark place, a lot of different things going on in my life. And I was just in a different mindset. Like I've kind of viewed it all differently. But now I look at it as like, I'm just hungry. Like I only have one life to live. Like why not just be the best at everything? And not care about that stuff. Put all that stuff in the past, whatever. I still think about everything every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it just makes me even more hungry. It's like, all right, like I have something to prove. And I'm here for a reason, so I'm gonna be the best at what I do. That's the biggest thing is honestly just right now I'm just hungry. Yeah, I mean,
Well, and that's what I tell a lot of people is it isn't about like what you add into your life. It's what you can remove and block out.
right?
Like when you get out there and you start working, you have to almost put on blinders in a way.
Yeah,
And just everything gets
that was-
left in the past almost.
Yeah.
And like you're just handling what's happening right now
Yeah,
and in the future. And you're leaving all of that. the past.
It sucks,
Leaving
but
it
you're gonna have
behind.
to remove some people from your life.
Uh-huh.
And God's gonna help you with that. That's another
Yeah.
thing.
You gotta trust his
You're
plan.
not gonna remove them, but He'll remove them. And you'll notice that. And once they're removed, you just got to be hungry. It all goes back to being
Yeah.
hungry and disciplined for me. Those are the two biggest things that have helped me out a lot.
Where does that hunger come from? Like, where are you getting this hunger from?
It's just like when I was younger, I always was like, yeah, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to whatever.
Okay.
And I just wasn't seeing it. A couple months ago, I was like, all right, I'm not really living up to what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I get the hunger from that's part of it. Just previous myself. I was like,
when you were a kid.
I want to be this, but I'm not acting like that right now. I'm not at that point. So that's why I'm hungry. And then I'm trying to get to that point.
So you had to become the person childhood you viewed.
That I want. The person I wanted to be as a kid, I'm trying to be the person that I wanted to be. Yeah. And I wasn't really living up to that. And then I realized that, and I was like, I got to flip the switch. And yeah, so
you've grown into,
and that's one
still
part
growing
of it. Yeah. There's a lot of different things that add into the whole hunger thing. But yeah, I'm still growing. I'm not nearly where I want to be.
Yeah.
So
what is your goal for the end of 2024? Like, what
end of 2024?
You've already made over $40,000 this year. What is your end goal by the end of 2024 to have earned or homeowners help? It could be anything. Like, what is your
there's
end
a lot.
goal? You might have a couple. You might have like one. That's a personal goal. Whatever.
Just to keep helping people out. And then monetary wise, just make more money than I ever thought I could, because as of right now, that's kind of the way it's going. And every month I'm gonna keep trying to make more and more, and then see where I end up at the end of the year.
Your plan will you be able to, on your own, like, can you hit these goals if it was just you, or would it be easier if you had your own team?
Yeah, absolutely not. I could not. Everything. If I was able to do all this by myself, that would be pretty crazy. But it's nice having a team. Will be nice. And we're working on that. But yeah, that's the only way to grow. Like, you can't just do everything on your own. You have to have people helping you out along the way. Having some canvassers, having people added onto the team. That's going to help me grow tremendously, because not only am I worried about myself, I'm in charge of the livelihood of other people.
You on your own could help save homeowners maybe $1.5 million.
Right.
But if you have a group of guys, and you can help them save $12 million,
right,
and you're leading the pack,
right,
as a result, you will earn way higher if you have a group of guys helping them.
Right. And then they're making money at the same time too, and they're helping people.
Yeah.
So
you're just helping a ton of people if you have a group of guys.
Right.
You help out a lot of homeowners then, and your guys will have earned a lot of money.
Right.
All because of you helping them and you training them. Yeah,
I'm excited for that, actually. That's one of the things in 2024 I'd like to, I'm still working on it currently. Just building out a good team, because that is important. Not only is it going to help the company grow, but it'll help me grow as a person.
Yeah.
Being in charge of other people. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I want them to succeed just as bad as they want themselves to succeed. Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility that if you bring a guy on, like, and it's your buddy or whoever, and you bring him on, he has to do good.
Right.
It's like your responsibility that he does well, because you promised all this stuff to him.
Right.
And it's up to you to live up to the promises that
I wouldn't want to let someone down after promising them that, hey, this could be an opportunity to change your life.
In you.
And they believe it, and then they come here and they're like, what's going on? Like this and that. But that wouldn't be just my fault. It could also be them too. Maybe they're not working as hard. Maybe they're a little lazy. But yeah, that would ultimately fall back on me.
Yeah.
just because I
You
brought him
can
in.
help
Help
them. Be like, hey, you got to get on this.
You gotta, yeah,
And you can help push them to the point to where they couldn't be pushed on their own. Because when you join this world, like in the beginning, you won't believe in your own capabilities.
right,
And you rely on your people to believe in you when you don't believe in you.
correct.
And when you have a group of people that are like, you can do this, like, you're good, you got this,
Yeah,
they'll start to be like, oh, wait, maybe I do.
yeah,
And then it works. That's why having the right leaders and right group of people is extremely
it's important.
important to have, because when you join,
Yeah,
you
there's no
question
going back.
everything.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that too, and it's just like,
you question
Yeah.
if you can do this like right away. And having, if you brought a guy in, you helping him,
Yeah.
and you being like, no, like, you got this. Like, if you look back to when you just began in this industry over like a year ago, you were probably way worse than you are right now.
yeah, and there were countless number of times where I questioned myself, and I was like, do I really want to do this? Like,
Yeah.
is this worth it? But I just kept going.
Dom, thank you.
Of course.
Yep, thank you for being on the podcast. It was a pleasure having you
Absolutely.
here, and I love watching you grow every day. I mean,
Thank you.
even from when you joined
Yeah,
to who you are now, you've grown,
right.
and it's been a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to
Thank
be
you.
a part of. So,
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you
I appreciate you as well.
believing in
Yeah.
this and trusting it, and you understanding that you can do it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you understanding that as long as you trust it, we won't let you fail.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you did, and now
Yeah.
you're here. So
It's amazing.
it's amazing to see.
Yep.
But all right, guys, see ya.
Stay up.